Good day, learners. Today we're going to talk about the undefined terms in geometry. So we have points, lines, and planes. And we're going to talk also about angles. So we have here the terms and definitions that we must remember. First, we have point. So point is represented by a dot. So by definition, a point is an exact position or location on a plane surface. It has no length, width, or thickness. Also, all the figures in geometry are made up of points. So yung origin ng lahat ng mga figures sa geometry is or started from a point. So how are we going to name a point? So we can use capital letters in naming a point. Suppose we have this one, point B. So it will be read as point B. Next term, we have a line. So we just need 2 points to define a line. So just like a point, a line has no width and thickness, but it has infinite length because a line consists of infinitely many points. Also, 2 points can be or can determine a line. That is, we can draw a line using 2 points. So this is the illustration of a line. So this one, it has 2 arrowhead. Mayroon siyang dalawang arrowhead and it is composed of infinite number of points. Okay, hindi natin mabibilang or madidetermine kung ilang number of points ito kasi it is infinite. So to illustrate a line, you can use a straight mark and it should have 2 arrowheads on opposite ends. So itong dalawang arrowheads na nasa opposite ends, it signifies na yung line natin can be extended indefinitely in both directions. So how are we going to name a line? So naming a line, we can use capital letters or 2 capital letters with a double arrowhead above it. Or we can also use a lowercase letter. Suppose we have this illustration. So again, kailangan lang natin ng 2 points para ma-determine yung line natin. So we have point A and point B. So we can name this line as line AB. Ito yung symbol na ilalagay natin sa capital letters natin, sa dalawang capital letters natin. So it can be read as line AB or pwede rin nating baliktarin, line BA. Or we can also use a small letter. So kung makikita natin dito sa gilid, nilagyan ko ng M. So we can use or name a line using a lowercase letter. So it will be read as line M. Next would be the plane. So a plane is a flat surface that extends infinitely in all directions. It has infinite length and width but has no thickness. A plane is named by 3 points in the plane that are not on the same line. So ito na yung example ng illustration natin sa plane. So it could be a slanted 4-sided figure. So to name the plane, we can use 3 capital letters which are non-collinear points or those points do not belong to the same line. So we have point X, point Y, and point Z. So based sa 3 points na ito, pwede nating pangalanan yung plane natin as plane XYZ. So you can use any order. So it can be plane XYZ or it can be plane ZYX or it can be plane YZX. Now, after ng undefined terms, we also have the subsets of a line. But before we discuss the subsets of a line, bakit nga ba tinuturing na undefined terms yung points, lines, and planes? So we treat them as undefined terms, although we can define them or we can use some symbols to represent them, but we cannot actually measure their dimension. Let us say a line. We cannot really determine kung gaano kataas yung line or ano yung length ng line kasi nga it is infinite. Same with plane. Yung plane extends indefinitely in all directions. And yung point naman, we cannot actually determine kung ano yung point or ano yung size ng point kung gaano siya kaliit. That is why we treat these three terms as undefined terms in geometry. So going back, we have now the subsets of a line. A line extends indefinitely, that is, it does not have an endpoint. This characteristic of a line enables us to form subsets. The table below shows the subsets we can form from the line. So yung first subset ng line, we have the ray. A ray is a subset of a line that has one endpoint and continues infinitely in one direction. So ito yung itsura ng ray natin. So kung mapapansin natin, we have one endpoint and one arrowhead. So yung arrowhead dito, it signifies that the ray continuously extends in one direction. So how are we going to name a ray? A ray is named using two capital letters with one arrowhead above them. When labeling, always write the endpoint under the side without the arrow. Order matters in naming a ray. Always write the endpoint first. So if we have this example, yung point na nasa endpoint natin is si point X. At yung nasa bandang arrowhead naman is si point Y. Kaya, if we're going to name this ray, uunahin natin isusulat si X, then Y. Okay? Uunahin natin isulat si X kasi nga, nandun siya sa may endpoint. So, this will be read as ray XY. So, kung mapapansin niyo yung symbol ng ray natin, meron siyang one endpoint sa isang side and an arrowhead on the other side. Next subset of line, we have the line segment. So, sa line segment naman, we have two endpoints. A line segment has a definite length unlike a line which has indefinite length. So, sa line segment, madidetermine natin yung length niya kasi nga meron siyang dalawang endpoints. So, ito na yung example ng line segment. So, it has two endpoints. So, to name a line or a line segment, we can use, again, two letters. This time, yung symbol na ilalagay natin sa taas, wala ng arrowhead. Kasi nga, yung sa magkabilang dulo ay endpoints. So, suppose we have this example. So, we can name this one as line segment XY, or you can also name it as line segment YX. So, ito na yung magiging symbol natin sa pag-name natin sa line segment na given. Now, how about angles? By definition, an angle is formed by two rays that share a common endpoint. This endpoint is what we call the vertex, and the rays are called the sides of the angle. And degree, denoted by this symbol, yung symbol natin, this is the unit used when measuring an angle. Example, we have this one. So, ito yung common vertex, ito yung point nila. Again, yung angle natin is formed by two rays. So, this would be the first ray, and ito naman yung second ray natin. If we're going to connect these two rays, it will form one endpoint, which we can call as the vertex. So, yung dalawang rays, yun yung sides ng angle natin. Example, if we have this illustration, this would be, or yung vertex natin dito would be point B, at yung sides naman ng angle natin would be ray BA and ray BC. Now, how can we name an angle? So, we can use three ways in naming an angle. First, we can name it using its vertex. So, if we have this angle, we can name this one as angle Z. So ito na yung symbol na pagkakasulat ng name niya. And it will be read as angle Z. We can also name the angle by listing 3 letters, one from each side and the vertex at the middle. So halimbawa, ito yung angle natin. So ito na yung pagkakasulat ng name ng angle. Now make sure na yung vertex ay nasa gitna palagi. You can use or you can start from any side as long as yung vertex ay nasa gitna ng dalawang letters. So it will be read as angle ABC or can also be read as angle CBA. Again, make sure that the middle letter is the vertex. And the third way of naming the angle is using a number. So suppose this is your angle. So pwede natin siyang lagyan ng number. It will be read as angle 1. Okay? So kayo na mag-a-assign kung ano yung number na ilalagay nyo dito. Now, angles can be classified according to their degree measure. So the first type of angle is the acute angle. By definition, acute angle is an angle whose degree measure is greater than 0 degrees but less than 90 degrees. Halimbawa nito is 45 degrees. So again, magbe-base lang tayo dun sa degree measurement ng angle. So if it is greater than 0 but less than 90, then we can consider that angle as an acute angle. Pag ang angle naman natin ay exactly 90 degrees, yung degree measurement niya, then we call that angle as a right angle. So ito yung illustration ng right angle. Itong box na ito, itong small square na ito, between the sides of angle N, it indicates 90 degrees. So pag makikita niyo itong symbol na ito, automatic, yung degree measurement ng angle natin is equal to 90 degrees. The next type of angle is the obtuse angle. So yung obtuse angle naman, yung degree measurement niya would be greater than 90 degrees, mas mataas pa sa 90 degrees, pero less than 180 degrees or mas mababa sa 180 degrees. Example would be this one. Angle XYZ measures 135 degrees. Therefore, angle XYZ is an example of an obtuse angle. Next is straight angle. Sa straight angle naman, yung degree measurement niya is exactly equal to 180 degrees. So ito yung illustration ng straight angle. So again, it forms a straight line. Then its degree measurement is equal to 180 degrees. Now, pag lumampas naman ng 180 degrees yung degree measurement natin, we call that angle as a reflex angle. So again, it is greater than or its degree measurement is greater than 180 degrees but less than 360 degrees. Example, we have angle YES. So yung degree measurement niya is greater than 180 degrees but less than 360 degrees. We can also classify angles according to their pairs. So the first angle pair that we're going to discuss is the complementary angles. So yung complementary angles, binubuo ito ng dalawang angles. So when the sum of the measurements of two angles add up to 90 degrees, then these angles are complementary angles. So pag ang sum nila is 90 degrees, halimbawa, the first angle is 30 degrees and the second angle is 60 degrees. So we can consider these two angles as complementary angles. Kasi nga, pag i-add natin yung degree measurement nila, it would be equal to 90 degrees. Okay. We can also have this one, 40 and 50. So they are complementary angles. Again, kasi nga, their sum is equal to 90 degrees. Now, if the sum of two angles is equal to 180 degrees, then we call these angle pairs as supplementary angles. So halimbawa, we have 60 degrees, yung isang angle. Yung isang angle naman is 120 degrees. So if you're going to add them, they will add up to 180 degrees. Therefore, these two angles will be considered as supplementary angles. The third one, we have the adjacent angles. These are two angles that share a common side and a common vertex. Also, adjacent angles do not overlap. So ito yung example ng adjacent angles natin. We have the first angle, angle A, B, D. And the second angle is D, B, C. So if you notice, yung adjacent angle, dapat meron silang common vertex. So yung common vertex natin dito is si point B. At dapat meron din silang common side. Yung common side naman nila is a ray. So we have ray, B, D. So pag may common side sila, at the same time may common vertex, and they do not overlap, then we can consider these two angles as adjacent angles. So si angle ABD and angle CBD are adjacent angles. The fourth linear pair, the fourth angle pair is the linear pair or linear pairs. Linear pairs are adjacent angles and are supplementary. This means that the sum of the measurement of the angles add up to 180 degrees. So yung linear pair, mako-consider pa rin natin siya na adjacent angles kasi nga meron silang common vertex. Halimbawa dito, yung common vertex nila is si point C and may common side din sila, which is ray CD. So this is an adjacent angle and at the same time linear pair. So kung yung adjacent angles also pairs up as supplementary angles, ibig sabihin yung sum nila is 180 degrees. Therefore, we are going to name them or consider them as linear pairs. So again, two angles form a linear pair if and only if they meet these conditions. Una, dapat adjacent angle sila. And at the same time, and second, their uncommon sides should be opposite rays. So dito, yung uncommon sides nila would be ray CA and ray CB. So yung dalawang sides na ito ay opposite rays. So again, lahat ng linear pairs ay adjacent angles, pero hindi lahat ng adjacent angles ay linear pairs. Lastly, we have vertical angles. Vertical angles are a pair of two non-adjacent angles formed by two intersecting lines. So this is an example of vertical angle. So si angle 2 and angle 4, they are vertical angle pair or they are vertical angles kasi nga opposite sila of each other. And at the same time, si angle 1 and angle 3, sila naman yung bumubuo ng second vertical angle pair natin. So another example. So if you have angle A, O, B, yung vertical angle pair niya would be yung nasa opposite side. So we have angle D, O, C. At kung ito namang angle A, O, D yung pagbabasihan natin, yung vertical angle pair niya would be angle B, O, C.
And that's a wrap. Please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel, Sir Ninyo. And you can also post your math problems in the comment section. And we will do our very best to provide solution to your questions. Because remember, every problem has a solution. At kung math ang problema ninyo, ako ang kaagapay ninyo, ako ang Sir Ninyo.